Greetings, it is Act 3 of Auditorium, Solace, and I am CrossKnights, and here we gonna have a new little tool. So yes, Auditorium, the game where you play music with laser beams! According to Whiskey. I gotta say, that's like the best description of this game ever. I mean, I guess they are technically sound waves, but laser beams, that's hilarious. I love playing music with lasers. But anyway, that's how that works. Most people said I should probably, talk more, but be quiet when the full song is playing, and I think that's probably the best suggestion. So, yeah, the way this new tool works is that it kind of creates like a well of gravity where everything gets sucked to the center, and the bigger the influence is, the stronger it is, so eventually you can just completely yank it over, and it always goes to the center. But it can also still be influenced by other things. It changes the trajectory. And if you add a directional, it basically turns it into like a looping tool as opposed to a vortex type tool. So very useful, very good to know. And sorry I talked over that music, but I'm solving these puzzles too fast. I realized that it was actually easier to do this with post-commentary because it's kind of hard to think. I need a lot of concentration in order to solve these damn puzzles, and we haven't even gotten to the hard ones yet. Ugh. But this one, I'm trying to arc it through both of the colors so I can satisfy those, but didn't really work. This way I can satisfy both colors here. And I gotta get another vortex. I can pull these over, but it's weird. It's important where you pull things over. Because you notice now there's nothing in the center. What if there was another color bar in the center there that I needed to get? I'd need to be careful, but there isn't. Here I need the weird situation where it actually loops back on itself and gets the blue one, which I achieved. How big you make the well thing is actually really important, because if you make one really, really big and you're going to use another well thing, it's got to be almost as big or you're not going to be able to pull the things away effectively enough. We got a nice double loop here on both of the reds. Yeah. But how am I going to get that stuff over there is the problem. The only issue with doing post-commentary is I can't tell what I'm thinking. I recorded the video for this 2 days ago. So I don't know exactly what my thought process is. It is interesting seeing my videos from other people's perspectives, though, because sometimes you notice something that I clearly didn't notice when I was moving. And it's like, no, it's so obvious, but it's not obvious when you're doing it, is the thing. You can only focus on one thing at a time. So that wasn't really working. It's sort of working, though. There's a thing with, like, once you introduce a new object, sometimes it causes, like, instant momentum, kind of jerks. And that's why momentarily I was filling up those bars, and then it stopped. It's actually pretty cool seeing the end product of the laser patterns. I mean, that's almost as cool as hearing the complete song a lot of the time. No, it's just such a cool idea for a game, I've got to say. They took this really simple puzzle concept and they added like these cool, like simple but nice to look at visuals, and then progressively incoming music, and it made it amazing. So we got both blues, but it's gonna be hard. The beams of light only have a certain amount of momentum, too. Eventually they'll stop moving. And the momentum can actually be increased by having severe, like, influence, like the vortex influence or even the directional ones. That can increase how fast they're going. But eventually they're gonna stop. Like, you notice that yellow thing was essentially terminal after a little bit. It just stopped because the momentum ran out. But now it's actually going farther than it was before. That blue loop actually looped all the way around again, that vortex, because I made the thing bigger and it made everything go faster. So that's another factor you need to pay attention to. There's a lot of factors you need to pay attention to. And because there's so many factors, but it's a simple idea, there's generally 2, 3, 4 solutions to each puzzle. Sometimes there's only one, but not generally. So there's both of the blues and the red. Yeah, there's actually a little space in the red beam. It's created a little jet, so there's kind of 2 distinct beams. So that's good, but now I just need to get the yellow one. The problem is... oh, we got it. No, I didn't, because the yellow's not being filled up? Why? The first yellow, all the way to the left, is, like, not filled up, and I can't tell why, because there's certainly yellow things hitting it, so that's very odd. Or is that a blue? Oh, it's a blue thing, that's why it wasn't getting filled up. I need to siphon just enough for the yellow part, but if I siphon too much, it cuts off the beams that are going to the blue parts. So, I have to be very careful how much I steal. Now that works, because there's 2 separate beams, I can make it smaller without it affecting the red one up top. Oh, my beams got cut off. The only reason I'm getting... like, you notice there's like 2 beams at the top, it's separating from the red part. All that blue is being caused by the lower one, so I need to siphon it off from there or it stops. But there we go, I got the yellow one also. But I've siphoned too much! See, I siphoned too much from the bottom part, and it made the blue beam too weak. I need to do just enough to accommodate both. But the blue one is filling up, I could still do this. Now I've lost the bottom one. Oh, there we go. Such a balancing act. Come on. Ooh, that looks good. We got it. Okay, Act 3, Solace, has been completed. On to Atlantic. Now, Solace means, like, consoling someone. I don't know how that makes sense. Like, comforting them. Atlantic, I'm not sure either. Like, transatlantic, maybe? But what has been introduced that's new? Why, it's that little tiny circle there. That is the new mechanic. Well, what does it do, you ask? Well, it's kind of a splitting device that shoots the beams into 2 different directions. The stage actually has some of my favorite music. I don't know why Atlantic would be the name of the stage, though. Maybe transatlantic, because it gets transported into 2 different things? I don't know. Does Atlantic actually have an intrinsic meaning that I don't know about? Oh, there we go. I've bounced it back, and it's going into the blue one. Now I just need to hike this thing up far enough so that it goes into the amethyst. That's not really working. So I can get increased help from moving over. I can't move it over too far, though. We're just going to push it back so that the left blue one doesn't get any beams, so that's not good. Ah, the angle has been corrected. It's been corrected too much. There we go. Already on to the 3rd stage, not bad. And it looks like some music is automatically being filled. So we got a vortex. The vortex and the splitter can have... I don't know. It doesn't usually work. Also, you can kind of drag... I was demonstrating that you can drag things over. And you can sort of complete a stage that way if you just need a little more, but... usually not, because doing that's going to pull things away from other critical areas. But if you're really close, sometimes you can be like, hit! And just like chuck extra light beams over, and then it'll be enough. But that's hard to do. Amethyst complete. Now how can I get that last blue one over? If I can just do a little bit of stealing. But not too much, I just cut off everything. I got to steal a little bit more than that. Fortunately, the amethyst portion should be relatively taken care of as long as I don't go over that certain threshold. Threshold? Oh god, I said it too many times and it's lost all meaning. That should work. Yeah, it's slowing up. It's filling up slowly, but it should work. Ah, not enough at top now. There's only barely enough to satisfy both of them, but I think we got it. This game, like, it's actually... I was watching my own video, and it is pretty cool to watch, but it's just so cool playing it. The fact that you can actually, like, choose which parts of the music come in first by depending on which part of the puzzle you solve first. So there's a lone white one and 2 amethyst. No, there's 2 white ones and 1 amethyst. Alright, that's actually easier. But the vortex isn't really coming in at the angle I would want it to. There we are. Now if I can just get that other blue one, or the other white one, we'll be good. Nice! Easy peasy. Atlantic complete. Alright. I actually looked up a pronunciation guide to say how to pronounce that, and now I've totally forgotten it because too much time has passed. It was like Uvitus or something. I think it's French, but I'm not totally sure. But it means speed. Why does it mean speed? Because we have bunnies. It's the bunny icon. Nothing's as fast as a bunny. Except for the Jabberwock. As you can see, it actually accelerates the speed of light beams, but that's not quite enough. So we just increase the severity by a little bit, and it gets more, and then BAM! Like a shotgun. The rabbit's effect is actually pretty crazy. It doesn't need to be that big in order to work. And if it is that big, if it's too big, then it kind of circumvents the influence of all other modifiers, even the vortex. You make that rabbit too big, it's going to practically ignore the vortex, even if it's at max size. But you can increase the range of vortexes by putting it in different spots, and depending on which part you put it in, even at the smallest setting, it drastically changes where it's going to affect things. See here, I'm just having a little bit, so it's going so fast that it gets out of the gravitational pull, and... yeah, it was like Uvitus. Or Levit... It sounded like the pronunciation guy said like Levitus. Whatever. I don't remember. I was confused. But be careful using the rabbit. Its power is great and can lead you to ruin. There we go. Yeah, no one in that last video said talk less, but I was hardly talking at all, so I understand that. I've got the white parts all set up, and I've got a little sparkler effect like in the last stage, but I needed to hit that little yellow hoop first, which is a problem. So I don't see how that's possible. I have something that can shoot things down, but with this current setup, I don't see how I could possibly utilize it, considering I've already reached everything, and the other thing's not going to go down and then back up because it's over. Which tells me either I'm going to figure out how to do it without the down thing, or I'm going to have to completely change my strategy. What will past CrossKnights do? Looks like I'm still going for this. Increase influence! By the way, if you're really stuck in a puzzle, and if you're playing this after watching this video, I guess you're not going to be, but maybe you're not going to watch all of them, you can actually skip puzzles. Like, you can skip one or two and keep on going and come back to it later if you want, which is really nice when puzzle games do that. That is a really tight-knit bow. I've got my vortex in. Yep, I think I'm abandoning that tack. Rabbit. Yes, this makes more sense to me. Because I don't see how else I could possibly have reached that yellow thing. And note, it's not all yellow, there's actually a yellow streak. All I need to do is cause sparks to go to the side. Here I'm testing out how it works without the rabbit. Perhaps put the rabbit in another spot. Ooh, not enough. That should be enough right there. It's being supplied by, like, one of the primary waves, so that's good. More rabbit. There we go. Now we've got extreme things happening. Things are skidding out of control. I don't know, just enough yellows hitting. But we have both of the whites. So if we can just feed the yellow, enough lines, we'll have it. Two vortexes, a downer, and a rabbit. Kill them with kindness, rabbit. Alright, so starting out with a white that was initially moving down, which causes interesting issues. Alright, we got both of the E's, but that first E all the way to the left is only being hit by, like, a weird offshoot, which means that if I alter that edge right there, it's gonna stop. Yep, it stopped. But did it stop enough? Yeah, I'm gonna need to move that other one over more. And this isn't quite getting both of the yellows either, unfortunately. But I'm on the right track. It's a weird, like, neon green yellow. It's like highlighter colored. Takes care of the yellow. If I can just adjust. Nope, that's going to completely cut everything off. Ah, but it was accepted. Sorry, I'm going to talk over this. You notice the yellow stream is completely cut off, but I was able to fill up the white one before the yellow one started to deplete, and I still got credit for the stage, which is a viable way to do it. It just usually does not work out that way. Got a swath going all the way across the board. I'd say that's a good way to start. Okay. Interesting thing is, all these stages that you've seen I actually practiced before I started recording. I'd be surprised if I solved any of them the same way twice besides the first few beginning ones. It's really easy to forget what you did. And just subtle changes cause things to go completely differently sometimes. That works. I hope some people did take advantage of the June bundle, because I think it was a pretty cool deal. This game alone, because the minimum was $5, I think this game is like selling for like $10 on their website. This game alone, I feel like, you know, $5, awesome. And I still haven't beaten the thing yet. I got stuck in some of the later stages. Hopefully I'll figure it out in time enough to record this. I'm actually recording the audio for this the same day that I'm going to upload it. Yeah, that wasn't working out. There was no way that I could get all of those beams down here. Well, that gets them over there, but that's such a severe bent. I don't know if the vortex isn't enough. The influence of it shooting over is way too much. So we decrease the length that the beam is being affected by it. And now the vortex is strong enough to whip it backwards. But can we get it to shoot up? See, that was wrong. I'm just trying to get those top beams, not the center one. The one in the center, if I cut that off, that'll stop the entire bluish-green thing. Yeah, bluish-green thing completely stopped. I just need that top portion to shoot up into the yellow, but... yeah, it's a little bit hard to do it that way, I think. At least from where this thing is, it's actually over farther than it needs to be. And that doesn't need to be nearly as severe. There, decrease the momentum. Can I move it? Alright, that's a good sign. If I can just get part of it to shoot up. There. I think we got it. Alright, that's it for this episode. Next episode, we'll be going on to Stage 6, where we're introduced with this thing. Looks like an X'd out thing. I wonder what it does. What? You'll just have to wait till next time!